Thank you. Was it good for you so we were inside? So you didn't have to bear the...
It's actually nice.
Right.
It's too bad out.
It was not that bad out? I made a mistake, right? Should have outside?
It's great.
All was good. I mean, the whole idea was that this isn't the end of spring ball. We still have 2 practices left. And I told them at the end, there's a reason for it, because this is the best opportunity, the greatest opportunity we have to evaluate all that we do. And I don't just mean that as players, I mean as coaches. A lot of times when you end with a spring game or a spring scrimmage and then you go right out recruiting, you don't have an actual time to really evaluate, to actually, fine-comb, go through every single thing that we do. And not just the players, but also the coaches and how we call things. So we got a great opportunity this next week to spend a lot of time going through this as much as we possibly can. We'll still have 2 practices left. We'll do a lot of kick scrimmage stuff in the last practice. We want our guys to make sure they understand it's about finishing. They came out, they competed today. They would have loved to have been outside and been in live action the whole time, but nonetheless, I think all in all, the thing we were looking for was a healthy competition. Those guys that compete against each other, but have the emotional control to not let it control them. And all in all, I think that's what we got today.
What kind of evaluation did you get of your quarterbacks today?
I don't know. It's always hard. You got to go back and really watch. Again, when it's not live, I think sometimes it's even more difficult because running backs can't break tackles. You can't move the ball anymore. People would think, well, the defense is the one that wants to be live. When in reality, I think the offense is the one that wants to be live because you don't get a whole lot of missed tackles when you're not going live. So I think it's a little bit more difficult for them to get in a rhythm and move the football. I think there's some situational stuff that I'd like to see them do a little bit better job. Protection breaks down, getting rid of the ball. We don't want to take sacks. Sacks leading to turnovers in bad situations. But I think it's rolling the football and the things that they're doing. They did a good job.
Pass rush is pretty formidable throughout. Has that stood out this spring?
It has. I don't think that we're going to go anywhere backwards in our front defensive area. We've got some really good guys. I think we might not have quite the depth that we had last year. They're playing 8 guys. But what I do think we have is we've got some guys that can be pretty dynamic in both the run and the pass as well.
The quarterbacks we saw. Sorry, go ahead.
Good.
How does it feel to be presented with the award today?
I'm not a big award guy, and I'm just glad that some of these older guys could be here today because when we had a little reception last night, a little dinner last night. I told them, hey, this is a team award, and I hope tomorrow that we have some of those guys that really kind of led us to where we are, that they could be here today so that they could kind of accept the award on behalf of this entire team. But I think more than anything, I want them guys to recognize that nobody did this by themselves. And with what they've done, they brought a lot of recognition, not just to me, to our program, and to our community and city.
In the spring like this, Coach, when you're looking for quarterbacks, are you looking for, because we saw big plays, we saw mistakes. Are you looking for guys who make plays this time of year, or are you looking for guys who minimize mistakes?
No, I think it's both. I think that you can't be a guy at a quarterback position that can't make plays and be aggressive and not be afraid to take some chances. But I think more than all those things, the mistakes you don't want are turnover. The mistakes you don't want are knowing when to get rid of the thing. If you're aggressive, you pull it down, you try to run, and something happens, and it is what it is. But I think more, you want those guys to really just kind of take on leadership. I think that's, to me, as big a deal about kind of trying to go live or at least a real scrimmage situation. We got to see those guys got to be in that leadership role where they're on the field, where someone false starts, and now it's 1st and 15. How do they handle that kind of huddle? How do their demeanor, and how do all those things kind of mesh together? Because we got to come out of the spring really kind of coming together as one, both offense, defense, and the whole team.
You're replacing 2 All-American corners, but Arquan Bush, Justin Harrison, those guys look like they'll still be pretty tough up there.
No, I don't worry about having the guys that are going to cover, the guys that are going to throw, the guys that are going to run the ball. Some of those great ones that we lost. My big thing is how we're going to do it together. And what I mean by, what happens when a big play happens? What happens when something does go wrong? I mean, for so long we had the Desmond Ritters that just so calm, cool, and collected, and the Kobe's and the Mods that even if something happened, they were calm and they could handle it, and everybody knew that they were going to play the next play. And we got guys that can play, but do we have guys that can handle some of those adverse situations and be able to do it together?
Guys, Alec, Sauce, you referenced those guys grabbing the trophy at the end. Those guys have been here at every spring practice, or guys like that, coaching guys up, offering advice. How significant has that been?
Curtis Brooks, I think he's been here about every practice. I don't brag, but Mike Tomlin did say something. I don't know about Mike Tomlin. I know he's a Steeler guy, but he did say something when he was here because he was a former Bearcat and coached here. But he did say that he goes, I haven't been many places where all the team comes to watch their guys, to cheer their guys on, whether it's in the weight room or out here. And I kind of took that. Okay, that's obviously something that means a lot to me. But then when I hear that it was said at another place, I don't know if you saw the tweet from Baylor, and someone from Baylor said afterwards, they said that Cincinnati and Baylor were the two places that you could tell their team was there. And that's the kind of things to me that we want to create here in an environment, not just winning, but the environment that this is a family, this is your home. As we say, you own it, you represent it, you basically live this the rest of your life. And that's what we want our guys to do. To see those guys when they have an opportunity to be here, to come out and spend 2.5 hours, I think that it kind of shows even those young guys that how this thing is really going.
In terms of finding a starter specifically as quarterback, but really at any position, do you cover rounds in terms of finding a starter in the spring, or is it more just evaluation?
No, we just like to challenge them. I think that more than anything that you try to move guys around, whether it's a first team, second team guy, just more so to challenge them. And not to say I don't worry about who the starter, just like I don't worry about I don't want to know who's going to be selected as first team. I don't want to know about these awards. I want guys to kind of not worry about those things and just worry about how we do things together, how we come together, what's that healthy competition look like. And when we eventually have to get down to who's the starter and who's going to go out there for the first play, then we'll have to handle those situations. But right now, it's just about, hey, let's compete. Let's find a way to do this together.
All right, one more. We got yelled at yesterday for trying to talk to Ryan Coe. Can we get you to talk about Ryan Coe today?
No, it's not against talking about. I just think that we're going to put him in some tough situations. We trust him, we believe it, and we've seen what he can do. And we want the guys around him to see what he can do. I think he's going to do a really, really, really good job. We don't want to put too much on him to start with. And whether he'll have to do the kickoff stuff or the field goal stuff, we still got to create some competition. But I think he's come in here and he's not just kicked the ball well, he's meshed well with everybody, because there's going to be a time when you're going to miss a kick. And when you miss a kick, if everybody's got your back, it's a lot easier to kind of brush off and go to the next one. So it's kind of, you put it in some of those situations, hope that does happen. That there's a miss or two, and all of a sudden you start to feel the pressure, then he sees how the guys are behind him, and he can come back and do what he did.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.